Do you remember when you were growing up and you saw adult material, did the thought ever cross your mind that I can do that?
You know, actually, yes. And then it was actually more of a thought, like, I can do that better. It was like, when I was seeing some, you know, of course, a lot of people, you know, have their mixed feelings about Pornhub, but I love them, because, like, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. I ended up finding a video of Nina Hartley, Sunny Lane, and Ron Jeremy, and Seymour Butts. And they ended up teaching me a lot, actually, about just pleasing the pussy and pleasing the woman and not making it about yourself and all this. So, you know, would sit there on Sunny Lane, who's actually now a really good friend of mine. She would sit there and tell her how to, like, tell us, the viewers, how to spread, how to, you know, use your tongue and this and that. And it really got me, like, not only did it teach me a lot of things, it really got me more into girls and just pussy eating. And, you know, a lot of it was, you know, like, I just wanted my pussy eaten, or I wanted to eat pussy. I wanted to see what it tasted like, what it smelled like, all that. And I mainly, for the fact that I wanted to, like, I could see that the guys were doing it to a point where, you know, oh, you know, it feels good, but it's not like, oh my God, it feels good. And I was like, oh my, like, I know if you would have just stayed on it a little bit, she would have came. And I was, okay, so learning all these things and coming up, you know, up with, realizing, okay, one day I was like, okay, I like the pussy eating, but what else do I like? And I looked up bondage stuff, and I liked BDSM, and there was a site actually called chantusbitches.com, all-time favorite. It was just free previews for the first, like, you know, you click on it and you get like 2-minute preview, and then you know, pay for the rest. And I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I would just, and there was like 50, 100 videos. I'd just go through, and then I would find my favorites, and, you know, I used to save them to my old iPod Touch, like first generation, save them to my notes and all the links and stuff, and used to somehow watch them without Wi-Fi. I don't know what I did back then to watch it, but I watched a lot of it to learn, but, you know, mainly to get off too. And so a video I like to, like, really get off to is massage videos. You know, just laying there and just getting massaged, not necessarily like my body, like my back, you know, like, I'm very into sensual deprivation, so I just love being, like, lightly touched anywhere, everywhere. You know, like, certain things can, like, you know, drive me, like, too crazy, you know, like, the lighter the touch, you know, the crazier, you know, or, you know, the more turned on I am, and, you know, so just the bondage and that kind of stuff, I realized I like that, and I wanted to get more into it, so, yeah.
For you as a woman, at this point in your life, what does sexuality mean to you?
Just means being able to express yourself and with others, and not having, you know, not feeling like you need to limit yourself, you know, to anything, that you can, you know, push yourself past a point, you know, safely, of course. You know, there's things I realized, like, I never realized I could do, you know. You know, way back in the day, a guy made me squirt, and I thought I just pissed myself, you know, and he was like, no, like, that came, you know, somewhere else. There's a lot more now that I find, you know, it turns me on, you know, like, you know, back in the day, you know, watching that porn, it was certain things, and now it's I don't watch porn at all. I literally cannot watch it because I either know everybody, and it's like, I'd rather fuck you and feel you like, for real in person instead of watching you, 'cause it's like, what do I get out of that? But then there's some things that are just, like, so out of the question in my mind that are like, why am I thinking about this? Like, what's going on? You know, and I just, you know, so my fetishes change. They go back and forth sometimes, but, or not necessarily back and forth. I realize more as the years go on that I like certain things, or I don't like certain things, so I'd rather do this over that, you know, so, yeah, no, I definitely, I feel like I'm more self-conscious now than I was before, over certain things, but again, that's because I'm kind of doing a lot of my own self content, you know, shooting my own stuff. And when you're shooting your own stuff, you have a different eye for it, and you're like, oh, I like myself this way, I like myself this way, or I prefer that. But when you're shooting for another company, you don't really have this say. So you kind of learn over the years, like, okay, like, let this slide, or, oh, you know for a fact, like, every time when you go on set, you want this. Like, you know that, okay, before I have a big cock inside me, I need to choke myself, because as much as it's nice to, like, gag on a cock, I like, you know, that effect and everything. Like, sometimes for certain things, I just need, you know, lubrication in my throat. That lube won't do, you know, or whatever the case may be. There's times where I want, you know, just one person, you know, whether it's a guy or a girl, or I want the other, you know, or I want both at the same time, or I want a group, or this and that, or I'll just want to be alone. In my room at 3 a.m. with my Hitachi, playing with it like 1,000 times. You know, so I'm a very, very active, very, like, it's funny because, like, when I'm all done up, and if I've got to be done up like that all day, I know, you know, I'll sweat my makeup away, or it'll bleed down my cheeks, or it'll just build up on my lips, and it'll look weird. If, you know, I'll let it build up for, you know, I'll be careful, you know, I'll be careful, like, oh, you know, barely touching, barely sucking, you know, until video, and then, like, oh, I'm all for it. You know, but then there's other times where I'm just like, I don't care what I look like at all. I just want cock. I have different, I guess, uses for it. It's like, you know, obviously if I'm on set working and shooting a lot, I'm not going to want to have sex at home. You know, and it's nice to have, like, a friend or people, or, you know, I have someone in my life that realizes, like, okay, like, there's times where I can just call them up and be like, hey, let's fuck. And then there's times where, hey, let's just hang out. You know, it's really, like, actually Netflix and chill, you know. But I don't know, there's times where I'm just like, I can go a whole month without sex at home, as long as I am having sex on set type thing. You know, but if I'm not really shooting much, say I'm more like feature dancing, you know, then most likely I'm going to be at home, you know, with my friend, you know. Well, we like to shoot for my websites and stuff, but sometimes it's just like, I don't want to worry about my hair. I don't want to worry about the way my makeup looks or what I look like in the camera. And I just want you to lay on top of me and do your thing, where you're just like, I lay on my stomach. I call it flat frog, something like that. Or flat dog, where you're in doggy, but you lay all the way down, and then you pretty much, he's just holding himself up with one hand and, like, fucking you from behind and down. So it's the best. And that one, we're supposed to open up. You know, you don't get a lot of, you don't see a lot of anything. So, and my face is usually buried into the pillow. And that's, like, the best feeling. For me, the best way for me if anyone questions why my eyes are closed, it's because I'm able to come a lot faster, a lot better, a lot harder when I get distracted when my eyes are open. So when they're closed, even when your cock is inside me, I'm still picturing it inside of me going in and out. It's like the weird, I don't know why I do this. I just do it. But yeah.